Hi, this is Kristen. The unit of instruction I created was entitled Acolyte One Who Helps. This unit was created for use in training 11 to 13-year-olds on how to become an acolyte at St. John Lutheran Church, Windfall. There were 4 units to the instruction, and they were worship team roles, spaces and places, the processional, and the recessional. So I wanted to take you on a quick tour of the units that I designed and give you a look into the modules that I created for this unit of instruction. So first I created a welcome module, and I put in there an announcements in there just so that students would learn that they would have to watch a welcome video first and read an Acolyte handbook, which was attached. So let me run back to that and show you where I housed that, or where I stored it. And I used Powtoons to create a video that was just a welcome video for acolytes. That's about enough. And then here's where I stored that Acolyte handbook. The first unit, entitled Worship Team Roles, describes the outcomes, learning objectives for this unit, and it really boils down to them knowing all of the roles that are included on the worship team and understanding each role's responsibilities. So I used Canva to create an infographic about the worship team roles, and they're all listed here. I tried not to put too much text in there because I realized their attention span is pretty short at that age. Then also in unit number 1, I did a review, or just a real short knowledge check. And I thought that was very helpful to learn how to use those tools, or use that particular tool as a knowledge check within each unit. And I made them just a few questions then, so that there wasn't one giant final at the end for any of these kids to, have anxiety over. It's not that important. The second use is entitled Spaces and Places at St. John. And here I created a presentation using Sway, which I loved that application, and I'll continue to use it in future presentations that I have to do. But there were a couple reasons why I really liked it. It looks to me very stylized and professional, and I liked that I could use pictures of the roles near where they did their job, so that the acolytes could begin to tie together the spaces and the places with who does what where. I also, in this presentation, included a video, embedded a video that talks about the communion process at another kind of a church. And at the very last part of this presentation, I included a link that describes other places in another church, just to see if all churches are created the same. And it's a virtual tour when this link is hit. Going back to unit 3 then, for unit 2, I did the Spaces and Places presentation, but I also did a type of collaboration exercise. I entitled it, in a discussion forum, Where in the Sanctuary Do We Do That? And I just made a diagram of the sanctuary, and I labeled areas with numbers, and I asked them to work with the other kids in their class and take turns in the discussion forum typing a number and then identifying the space that corresponds with that number. And then I did one so they could see how I did it. And I also then included and attached that diagram that I just referred to here. I also did a knowledge check in Unit 2. And then Unit 3 was the processional, so that's walking into the church. And I used Canva to create this infographic for all the steps in the processional. I had been familiar with Canva and had used it for social media, so this was a new use for me, but I really liked it a lot and could envision other ways I could use Canva in social media, mostly in Pinterest, for example. Then I created a video that shows how the processional is done. And while it starts out going through all the steps, one of the things that I did at the very end was that I videotaped a processional and then kind of did a play-by-play so that the acolytes would know where they do what they're supposed to do. I'll let you see just a little bit of that. Is going over to the pulpit to leave the Bible. And here are the acolytes lighting both candles on each side of the pulpit, remember, called the torch candles. And then I included a knowledge check in Unit 3. And Unit 4 was the recessional, so that's exiting the church. So I used Canva again to create a infographic that describes those steps in the recessional. And I also created a presentation, but this time I used Edpuzzle to do the presentation on the recessional, which I really liked. I think I only had 4 questions in there, but they do talk about important parts of that. And the last item that I added was Pay It Forward, which is the collaboration activity. And I used Google Docs to do this collaboration activity, and it was to ask and invite those acolytes to create a list of do's and don'ts working with their other classmates. So this would be for the next group of acolytes coming in, and I posed the question, what did you wish someone had told you that would have made it so much easier? So that's my unit of instruction. Thank you.